Hello from the other side. What's going on, YouTube? How's everybody doing? Not a ton on watch tomorrow. We've been kind of going in waves of momentum here in terms of my style the last few weeks. Or have a few names, main watches, stays on watch for a few days, and then kind of slows down. So we'll continue to stick to that trend until till things shift. Um, Two trades on my end. Anyway, I took the long on the panic this morning. We did get the gap down in first red day, but unfortunately, it had that similar panic like air did in pre. If you remember, when I was also looking for that one's first red day, it panicked down to $1 right here. And it went straight down, but had a really nice bounce all the way back up to the 150s and was actually above the prior day's close by the market open right over here back up into the 150s, where NUAI was already gapping down this morning quite a bit, was down like 10-15%, and then got absolutely clapped. So this pop here was a bit too quick. The wick was almost instant, and I was just a bit too slow. Possibly could use that pop versus red to green. Could argue any of these pops versus high a day. I think that was probably the best play. But given how many times that week open has held each day, and this thing already being down 15-20% around here, I just let it be. I didn't think there was a ton of meat on the bone when I'm looking to enter towards 250, and then I'm entering already down here in like the 210 area. So I took the long in pre-market just into a reactive panic, scooped up the bottom, sold the immediate pop for 20 cents, and then was just looking for pops towards red to green, and it just stayed down a bit too far. So didn't focus too much on that one, but D-Fly played out to a T. So if you recall from the watch list yesterday, I was short right through here. Yeah, right in here. Once it pulled back, broke below there, started to short and added throughout here. Had like a 66, 67 average, and was gapping up kind of unexpectedly. Was gapping up, but going into the same kind of setup as NUAI was, where now we're gapping up into prior day's resistance. We've already cleared out. We've had a straight up move. I think gaps should get sold at this point. So I was a bit uneasy given that I was sized versus this 72, 71, 72 area, and we were hitting 76s in pre-market. So I was down double what I had wanted, and I was already fairly sized. I was risking about 2 to 3R off of that 66 to 71, which was 5 cents, and then I'm down another 5 cents. So I was down probably about 6R up there at the highs, but I was able to collect myself. I'm trying to push my limits a little bit and size up into better opportunities, as I've gone over on these videos. And I stepped back and was like, okay, if I didn't have a position, what would I be looking for? And I would be looking to short this gap. So why would I be covering at any point here if I would be looking to short this gap and risk on highs? So I wasn't in a position to add into the gap because I was already down about 6R, and cutting over highs, I would have been down probably 8 or 9R. So I wasn't looking to balloon that loss into something pretty ugly by adding just randomly into the gap up. There was nothing saying this had to fail. I just thought it should. And what we got off the open today, right here, market open, straight down, lower highs. So what is a typical entry for me looking for a first red day? And again, this is considering I don't have the position already on. Where would I look to position and add? and that's on an opening range low break, hard crack, lower highs, move risk to high a day. We hold red and stay red. I add versus bounce highs. I scaled a little bit more here. It was starting to test the 62 level. There was hundreds and hundreds of thousands of shares sitting on 62, and it looked like it was going to break. So I added the rest of whatever I had borrowed, looking for that just immediate 62 flush. And once it held, I sized down, locked in about 1R on those covers, and was down to my overnight position. And then right here, it started hitting 62s. The bid disappeared. Everything that was 60, 6201, 6205, they all went away. And the offer was sitting at like 6220s. So I just hit 62 with whatever I could. Basically everything that I had borrowed on the day. Wasn't quite doubling the position, but added about 2/3 to that overnight position, and was just basically looking for 62 to fail, and was going to cover into that reactive move. And lo and behold, 62 failed. That was the goalie that got pulled basically, and straight down into 60s. That was prior support from yesterday. And then once we showed a sign of reversal, straight down panic of 10 cents. 53s was the daily 4 EMA, and we were down quite a bit red on the day. But so those were the 60s. That was the reason for that cover there in the 58s, 59s, and then was just covering into that panic towards prior support that also aligned with the daily 4. So really nice trade. Happy with how I managed it. Was able to separate those emotions and scale into that winner. So those are the only two trades there, reactive on New A and scaled into DFly, and currently cash overnight. What's going on, Chris, Jeff? Good to see you guys. If you guys are in IU, I can throw, let me see here, right here. Copy this and put it right in here. I took a screenshot of the comments that I put in Investors Underground laying out my trade plans live, was calling out my trades, adding to the short and covering it today, and also put my trade plan in there the night before for that swing idea. So if you want to check that out, that's kind of what I like to do over at IU. So if you want to join that, feel free. But yeah, so that's enough about those trades. As far as ideas into tomorrow, nothing really A grade. Wouldn't be surprised if I didn't place a trade tomorrow. You're starting to get a bunch of these quantum names right on like a big multi-day base. Right through here, like this 28s, 29s area, kind of similar to what Open was doing on 880s, is kind of where the quantum names are. You had RGTI, you had QBTS started to break down there. You had QUBT starting to break down. I saw Oklo, this one here was another name. It's showing some larger cap daily field follow through. Some speed up, hard crack, lower highs, and you got this 109s breakdown. It could work, but I don't know. I don't have super high conviction these larger caps right now. They handsome. What's going on, George? Yeah, waiting for some pops. New A. Yeah, I wanted to. I had made a post on Twitter as well about New A this morning. I'll post that right there. Those are my thoughts on New A this morning. Trying to short it the last 2 days, and then for it to just gap down 20% was a complete piss off. But yeah, I see some of these larger cap daily field follow throughs. They've just been so hard to short on the way up that maybe the momentum shifted, but just how hard they were on the front side, I don't know how easy they're going to be on the back side, so I probably just let them be. Where do you think these stock can pop up? Where do you think these stock that pop up come from? How do we... Oh, catch the next... I have no idea. I don't want to catch the next HKD. I don't even want to trade HKD. I want to trade stuff with predictability. Big ol' wick on SLNH again. Weak open, get bought up into close. Weak open, bought up into close. They just keep getting saved. Definitely notable. Not going to lose that one off radar. DVLT, sideways day. Didn't reclaim those 120s, 130s like I was looking for. So if this loses a buck, it probably gets hit back towards that 80 cents. Could be a quiet fader idea. So if this loses one, maybe get a fade to 80. What I would like to see is a breakout and clear out through highs first, but we will see. Open to trade that one whichever way. New A, same kind of thing. If this loses 170s, it could get down to like the 120 to 140 range. I don't think I would short this tomorrow as much as I would like to short DVLT if it broke out of its respective channel. This one's just been a bit too choppy. But if we get another fade day back down towards 120-ish, I'd much prefer a backside bounce back towards 180, so keeping that one on watch. Lake was going to be a main watch going into tomorrow. This is an after hours candle, but it closed red. And unfortunately squeezed out after hours because it was a nice multi-day run from 3 to the 7s, pulled back straight down for the last 2 days. And open, set its high, fade, open, set its high, fade, open, set its high. Had a stronger close, so showed some signs of bottoming. Was going to look for weak opens versus prior day lows, but it got the PR, so I will just leave that one be now. No sense in chasing that thing. No more trades on D-Fly until it sets up for another daily chart pattern. Could consolidate and get tighter and maybe re-break out. Could pull back for a couple of days and get a backside bounce, but nothing to trade on it tomorrow. CDLX pulling back, ADAP pulling back, YCBD pulling back, not close enough to its day one VWAP, so I'm not looking for that one for a T+1. BQ, I saw some guys looking at this one for a T+1. I'm not sold on it. I don't know, it's got some stuffs up here in the 12s, looks like some supply in the upper end of its range. If it gets back over these 10s, 11s, it probably could get going. I don't know the whole story behind this. Seems Chinese, but I don't know. I don't know what the whole story is with that thing. BENF, big percent gainer today. Throw it on a watch. Zura, big percent gainer today. Throw it on a watch. CYCU, I thought that one was dead yesterday, or the day before. But multi-day run, pulled back and retraced its whole move, so I took it off radar. Came right back, tighter inside day, so I'll keep this one on watch over 48s. If you look at like a multi-day, like a 15-minute maybe, you can see the highs were up here in like the 53s, but most of the volume over under was traded in like this 48 range where it pushes out but sits back under it, pushes out, sits back under it. So 48s would probably be that trigger if it breaks and then starts to hold in that upper end. Worth keeping that one on watch. ELBM, if that breaks through these 130s, I think that one could get going. Looks like a gapper gets sold. That could be a transitional day because the bid came back in. And then you get this gap, shortened to resistance, shorts, but continues to hold higher lows. And with this sort of linear bottom, looks like there's a buyer in there. And I don't just like to buy and trade day ones, but when I get some sort of daily setup here, I think that 130 break could send it. So I'll keep that one on watch as well. But just kind of a bunch of ideas, nothing that's really jumping out as a main watch. So if album triggers 130s, sure, I might take a trade on it. If DVLT breaks outside of that channel of the 120s to 1, basically today's range, if it breaks out, I might join that trend one way or another. But I saw CoreWeave got an investment today from, was it Meta, I think? Meta or Microsoft or something. Can't remember which one it was. Was it Meta, I think? But I can't remember. yeah, 14 billion meta deal. And it gapped up. Bunch of people trying to play that breakout gets slammed on. No interest in playing that one. SMCI, another large cap that's fairly tight, right within its shooting distance of its moving averages. That one looks okay, but again, it just doesn't seem like a great environment for me personally on these large caps. So probably just leave these large caps be for a little while. Small caps have been doing okay, where trade something, wait a few days, something else sets up, trade that one, wait a few days, something else sets up. So just kind of taking my time on smalls and trying to size in when they set up. Today, the last day of September. Yep, tomorrow's October. First day of the month. So yeah, other than that, guys, I think that's all I really had to touch on. And yeah, hopefully I see some of you guys in IU. And the rest of you, see you on the next watch list. Take it easy. Peace.